It's nothing to swat at. Bee populations are declining worldwide. Considering bee pollination is crucial to supplying food to animals and humans, people are sounding the alarm. Michael Schlesinger spoke with a local beekeeper and conservationist about what we can all do to improve the future of these precious pollinators.
The more you get stung, the more your body builds immunity to it. So when I get stung, yes, it doesn't feel good to get stung. It's like getting pricked by a little needle, but I don't swell or anything like that anymore.
In the scheme of things, getting stung is the least of Trevor Bawden's worries. These days, this local beekeeper has one main focus. It's keeping as many bees alive as he can at this location in Oak Creek, where there are 40 to 50 colonies.
Yes, pollination is very, very important, because without that, we wouldn't see all these gorgeous flowers around us. But I think they also provide an endless amount of entertainment for us. And just to be able to see them and just enjoy their freedom that they have is truly amazing.
This owner and operator of Lloyd Street Bees is busy breeding queen honeybees. He's also trying to make sure the invasive varroa mite isn't taking over his site.
They're like a tick on your body. And just like a tick, when they bite you, they bring all different types of diseases and viruses into the bee's body, for that term. And what they love to feast on is, instead of blood, like a tick in a human, it is the fat body of the bee.
Bawden says we look at bees the wrong way. Instead of thinking of them as some sort of magical creatures, they're actually like livestock.
And livestock needs to be managed. And part of that management is really putting in the work of looking into the colonies, doing your varroa mite checks, feeding them, making sure that they're ready for winter so that you can be successful. And you're not being a bee buyer at that point. You're a beekeeper once you can get them through winter.
You've probably heard about the disturbing trends with honeybees. Right before the pandemic, it was estimated tens of millions of them had been killed over just one winter alone in the United States. Bawden believes so much of it goes back to the pesky little varroas. Without them, it's so much easier to be fruitful and multiply, he says.
They're gonna stay in the field, they're gonna hunker down inside their little boxes, and they're just gonna consume the food stores that we've given them for the entire winter. And then spring comes, we get our first bloom of the trees, and that pollen coming in creates a feedback loop that the bees are like, all right, it's time.
Up to now, chemicals have been used to kill the mites, but this bee expert is worried what might happen in the long term, so he's looking at alternatives.
We have to either continuously keep trying to develop new drugs, or we need to breed for more resistance in the honeybee.
So immunity becomes an issue.
Exactly, totally.
I think anything's a possibility.
Conservation Programs Coordinator Ariana Donaldson with the Zoological Society of Milwaukee worries about extinction and spends a lot of her time on bumblebees. Unlike honeybees originally from Europe, these are native to Wisconsin. There are 20 species here.
I think bumblebees are wonderful and adorable. I hear some folks on the internet refer to them as flying pandas, which I think is wholly accurate. They're adorable, but that does not, I don't say that to minimize the critical importance and role that they play in our ecosystems.
She says bumblebees are responsible for 1 out of 3 bites of food we eat.
And so if we keep walking, it looks like there's some goldenrod that's going to come up here. More purple coneflower. But over here, this orange flower, this is actually called a butterfly weed. And it's another favorite for pollinators. You can see all the action that's happening right now.
Donaldson showed me a few pollinator-friendly plant gardens on the grounds of the Milwaukee County Zoo. In fact, this is where an endangered rusty patch bumblebee was recently found. She believes if we grow our gardens a similar way, we can help the overall bee population immensely.
Plants a variety of species for a variety of seasons.
She also highly advises in taking part in No Mow May.
They'll reuse old holes in the ground that rodents have made, leaf piles, yard debris. So we ask that during the month of May, you just wait a little bit longer to allow queen bumblebees more time to emerge from hibernation.
The beekeeper we spoke with also loves to teach others about his livelihood and perhaps prompt them to do what he does. He believes knowledge and action are the best practices from stopping a breed from possibly dying off in the first place.
Yeah, that's the only way we're going to do it.
They're from